Hey everybody, it's Mr. Bierbauer here with another art lesson. Now this is going to be one of our last recorded lessons of this year. And this is going to be a 2-week lesson because I know EOGs are coming up. So some of y'all I will have in person next week, and then this will be remote for you on the following week. Some of y'all will be the other way. Some of you guys will be remote both days. So we're going to be looking at comic strips this week. We're going to be making our own. You're going to need a paper, pencil, crayons, markers, colored pencils, any kind of art materials you've got. So here's a little Bitmoji comic strip I put together. You can see it tells a story. It starts out sleepy in the morning, taking a nap after school, try not to stay up too late after I took that nap, and then of course you can't sleep. And then this one just starts over and over. And I know that happens to me sometimes. I'm sure it happens to some of y'all too. So we'll start with our artist promise. As artists, we will always try our best, respect ourselves, our friends, and our artwork, take responsibility, imagine new things, support each other, and of course, take time to clean up. Our I Can statement this week and next week. I can create an original comic strip about my life. So you can see this is one I made about myself. That's me coming home. Pippin, I'm home. And there's my cat Pippin. Time to sneak up on Dad. He loves that. Pippin, where are you? And then he jumps out on me. And of course, there's a big cloud and a fight as he wrestles me down to the ground. And then in the very end, nice to see you too, Pippin. Oh, I love Dad. He's the best. So y'all will be making a comic strip about your own life. So first of all, what is a comic strip? And what are some comic strips you know? These can be comic strips like in the newspaper. You might know some web comics, which are going to be online comics. You might also know some comic books or even graphic novels. Basically, a comic strip is just going to be a cartoon or a series of cartoons that tells a story or part of a story. And you can combine comic strips to make a comic book or a graphic novel. So that's like if each comic strip tells part of a story, you put them together to tell a whole story. If you look here, this is just a one panel or one frame, one picture comic. She's reading Aladdin, and her brother says, I rubbed every lamp in the house and nothing happened. I guess he was looking for a genie. I'm going to show you some examples of other comics, some different types. Some are going to be more realistic. Some might be things that we've even experienced this school year, and then we'll be thinking about how we're going to do our own. So this is one of my favorite comics, Calvin and Hobbes by Bill Watterson. Bill Watterson made tons of comics about this little boy Calvin right here, and he's got a stuffed animal tiger named Hobbes who he goes on a lot of really cool adventures with. So looks like he's eating something. He's definitely scared. Stir, stir, stretch. Stab, stab, pat, 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 mush, mush, sniff, woof, woof. Oh, lick, we're going to taste it. Ugh, blick, glug, 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 got to drink that water. Slick. Oh, trying to cough it up, choke, gasp. There. See, I tried it. It almost killed me. And his parents. Encore, bravo. I'm going to run away to Alaska. So I know we probably felt like this before trying some kind of new food. And I'm sure our parents were probably just as aggravated as his were. But I love these comics. If you guys ever get a chance to read Calvin and Hobbes, it's great. Here's a couple other ones. These are only 3 panels each, so 3 boxes. The first one is Garfield. Some of y'all may have seen Garfield in a movie before or on TV. He's laying here thinking. You can tell he's thinking because his bubble here, instead of being a regular round thought bubble, it's like a cloud. So a lot of times we see that when we're thinking. He's thinking, John may not be perfect, but he does make a good pillow. And John says, want to hear about my day? And Garfield is thinking, shh, pillows don't talk. And then down here is Zitz. Zitz is about a teenager and his family. He's saying, I think Sarah might be smarter than me. His friend says, I could not be less surprised. Yeah, for some reason it bums me out. Well, can Sarah eat a burrito the size of her head? I doubt it. Well, your top's where it counts, dude. So I guess if he can eat that burrito, he's got one thing going for him. Now, these ones are a web comic, which means they're comics that are online. And Mojo Rose is the name a teacher is using to do her web comics called Summers Off. And I think we might have seen some of these this year at school. So the first one looks like they're on Teams or Zoom. And she says, "Okay, class, I've given it some thought. If we aren't being observed, you can keep your cameras off if you want." "Oh, but I would really like it if you could keep them on." And everybody turns theirs off. "Oh, well, okay then. Can someone tell me what we read about yesterday?" "Dean, Booker, Fatima, is anyone there?" I know I felt like this before sometimes when everybody has their cameras off and nobody's talking. You don't even know if they're still there. And I'm sure you guys have felt like that before too, when there's been not a lot of people participating in your classes. Now, this other one, this guy makes me think of me sometimes. Everyone is so focused and so calm. I hate to do this. "Okay, kids, 3 minutes left to work on the poster." And then everybody's yelling and getting up all over the place. "Grab the scissors and run! Faster! Who's got the tape? Hurry, hurry, hurry!" So I know we've seen that in class too, because at the end, everybody gets stressed and wants to make sure they finish their last minute stuff. So let's talk about parts of a comic strip really quickly. Usually a comic book will have a beginning and a middle and an end, no matter how many squares are in that comic. So the ones we're going to do, we're going to have 4 squares. So the first one will be our beginning, like my morning. The 2 will be in the middle, like nap time, and then don't stay up too late. And then the last one will be the end. And usually if there's a joke in your comic, we'll put it in that last page or that last panel, because that's the one people pay the most attention to. So you want to make sure they get a chance to hear your joke. Now, this comic strip is going to be about you all. So you can think anything you want this comic to be about. This is the best time to go on and plan, try to brainstorm. That means we're going to think of different ideas. You can make a list. You can sketch out some ideas. But here's some examples if you're having trouble thinking. It could be about the school year. It could be about your family, like mine was about me and Pippin. So that's one thing I used. It could be things about your summer plans, your hobbies, anything else that is about you. Because you want to use this as a chance to share something about you. Because a lot of times artists will teach other people something about them through their artwork. So we're going to think about our ideas, maybe come up with some plans. And then again, if it's your first day, you can get this far. You could write down your list. You could do it in your head. And then you might go in and start. If it's your second day, you're definitely going to be starting. So we're going to make sure we start out. On the second day, if you haven't done it yet, you will fold your paper into 4 sections. And that's easy. You'll just fold it in half across, just like that. And then you'll fold it in half down. And you'll open it up and you'll have your 4 boxes. If you want to, you can go ahead and draw lines to split up your boxes, or you can just leave the fold. And then you're going to plan your comic. And y'all, I'm going to suggest doing this with a light pencil, sketching it really lightly just to make sure everything is going to fit. Because our boxes are kind of small and you want to make sure you have information in every box. You might want words or speech bubbles like that when they're talking in every box. So sketch it out lightly. You can see I didn't even do a lot of details. I just put mine in there to kind of figure out what I wanted it to sort of look like. I did my words to make sure everything would fit. And then I was done. You can see there's definitely some differences between this one and my finished one, and I'll show you that in a second. So draw lightly, do your basic plan. And then this is where probably, if this is your first class, you can stop. So you'll be ready to work on it next time. Now, If it's your second class or if you just want to keep going, I would recommend going in and tracing over your sketches with a black pen or a marker if you have one. This will be your last time to kind of make changes with your picture. So you can see there's a couple places where my drawing with my Sharpie did not match up with my paper. So like on the door in the first frame, especially in the words in my second one, I realized I wrote them too small to trace over. So I had to write them bigger. I left the other words underneath for now so I could make sure I remembered everything. So you'll go in, you'll trace over everything. This will be where you're getting ready to color. You don't have to do your details. Like I didn't do any hair. I didn't do like Pippin's face there with the markers because I knew it would be too big, and I waited until I could add color. Then you're going to make sure you're adding your colors and your final details. This will also be when you go in one more time with your eraser. Try to erase out any marks from behind. You can see my where Pippin's thinking in the second one. I cleaned it up some. There's still a little bit of eraser I needed to do there. But you'll add your colors. I used colored pencils because I knew I could get in small details. But again, y'all can use whatever you have. This is where you're getting it to a final stopping place. And then y'all, once you have done that, you got a couple options for how to turn it in. And I had it written in the assignment that had the link to this video. Basically, your choices are going to be taking a picture and turning it in on Canvas. Or if you're having issues with Canvas, you can always email it to me. And if neither of those are working, I'm going to recommend that you guys just bring in your papers and ask your teachers if they will put them in my box for me. So that way, even if I'm not at school or if I'm in the middle of testing and stuff, I can get them and I can take a look and see what you've got. If you only did the first part because you're going to be here for a second day, just bring your pictures with you to school and we're going to keep working on them on our second week. I know it's a little bit different than normal, so if there's any questions, you can send me an email, you can send me a message on Dojo and just check in and see what's going on. But I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I know they're going to be awesome. Remember, you're just thinking about yourself and doing a comic to share something about you. So I hope you have fun with this, and I will see y'all later.